In this video, I will tell you about a schoolboy who became the main gangster of the area thanks to his intelligence. A 12-year-old boy living in the ghetto came to a Latina who treated him to milk and cookies. He is here to pick up the goods packaged in small bags. The woman almost cheated him by pocketing one bag. No wonder, she is on illegal drugs herself. Michael, nicknamed Daring, runs from one point to another. We learn that he was entrusted with this job because the crime boss Esteban is interested in his sister. Chili threatens to finish him off if he misses the bags. Because of his part-time job, Michael is often late for school. One day, a bag fell out near the locker and the boy quietly picked it up. Daring has a best friend, Chucky. He is not very smart, plays basketball poorly, and has just lost $6 in a card game. Michael has been eyeing a girl named Rosie for a long time. He finally gets up the nerve to approach her, although he believes she is the one eyeing him. Rosie teases him by saying that she likes his fat white friend. She has a white mother, and they live in a fancy house. Michael will never get rich and earn money for a Porsche. However, things are a little different. In a secluded place near the railroad tracks, he has hidden a thick wad of dollars and added another bill. Daring dreams of leaving the ghetto and moving to a rich area, but for now he has to live with his aunt and share an apartment with 11 brothers and sisters. His older sister Nicole does not want to live in such conditions and, having packed her things, left the house. At night, another sister asks Michael not to upset the aunt who has taken them all in. They can't go back home and they don't want to go to the shelter. The point of sale is controlled by several guys. They gave Daring a signal and he sold a bag to some guy so that he could evaluate the local product. Then a pregnant woman came up to whom he refused to sell. Another girl is so upset that she is ready to do anything for the powder. She offers herself to Daring for $10, but he slaps her and drives her away. The thug who is watching the guys, Jake, was very amused by this. In the evening, Daring came to the boss and complained about Jake, who left him without a salary. The boss handed the schoolboy $50, but he attacked him, saying that he worked not for 50, but for the required 100. The bandits realize that this guy can rise high. In the park, a man beats one player after another in speed chess. He plays for money, and when Michael sat down at the table, the chess player asked him to leave. But the schoolboy pulled out a 20 and the challenge was accepted. Soon, Daring declared that he would checkmate in 4 moves, but according to him, the man is a bad player, so he was checked in 2 moves. The game was watched by Sam, Michael's father, who taught him chess. He teaches his son that Michael should adapt to the opponent's play. If he likes to attack, you need to make him defend, and vice versa. Sam also says that sometimes it is better to act in a team than alone, and checkmates him by drinking a bottle of beer. Although Daring enjoys adult crime, he also wants to spend time with his peers. Chucky has a dog that he is going to put up for dog fights, which does not please Michael at all, who treats the dog better than its owner. However, Chucky intends to make money on the dog to buy himself new sneakers and a gold chain. Daring came to Esteban. He is not very happy that Michael sometimes works part-time on the crust, because his product is more dangerous, as are his clients. Esteban can safely run a business until he is 50. The main thing is not to try anything himself. Then he begins to praise Michael's sister, despite the fact that he is married and is currently rocking his daughter. The boss asks if Nicole has a boyfriend. Daring claims that her aunt does not allow her to date anyone. In fact, Nicole lives with her boyfriend James, also a dealer, and he does not like that Michael is his competition. She dates James because he has a lot of goods, and she doesn't want to be with Esteban because he looks at her like a queen, while she considers herself inferior. On the basketball court, Michael looked at Rosie until she decided to approach him. At this time, a team of thugs was barely coping with a very talented guy. Jake harshly stopped him and threw him on the asphalt, but the guy was not offended and continued to play. Later, he beat Jake again and threw the ball into the ring. The thug took out a gun and shot the talented athlete. The scumbag demands that everyone tell about his actions, but the shocked Michael remained on the court. One of the bullets hit Rosie in the neck, and she died right before his eyes. Daring tells the police that he did not see anything, only heard gunshots. Now he has trouble concentrating on chess. His father notes that Michael seems to feel the pain of losing each piece, but he must understand that they are just means to an end. The king. He says that the pieces may seem like friends, but you must be ready to sacrifice a friend at any moment. It is also important to throw your opponent off balance so that you can attack calmly. Michael has never been able to beat his father. Sam invited his son to his place. The trailer was filled with chessboards and beer bottles, and the walls were covered with photos of famous grandmasters. Sam played with all of them, but almost never won. However, he is sure that if they played for time or risked money, they would break down and he would beat them all. Sam remembers Nicole. When she appeared as a child, it seemed like an angel had descended from heaven. She was so beautiful and sweet. Chucky brought his pet to dog fights. Rasco does not look like a fighting dog at all. Jake showed up and he and Daring made eye contact. The dogs attacked each other, and oddly enough, the harmless Navi Traska bit the more formidable dog to death. A satisfied Chucky got the money, and Michael asked him not to bring the dog to fight fights anymore. Instead, they would make some really big money. At home, Daring set up the chessboard and demanded that his siblings leave it alone. He starts a special game. Then he came to Esteban and saw his naked, stoned sister. The book was lying on the bed. The boss thanked the guy for bringing it to him. Esteban kicked Seagulls out of the room, wanting Daring to act alone. He was sure the guy would soon rise. Daring came to the supplier Hector and asked to sell him a large batch of goods. He said that Corky had sent him instead of Jake, who was currently hiding from the police. Daring took all the money he had saved from the bank. A large batch was supposed to be delivered to him in an hour. Seagulls bragged everywhere that he would now become cool and rich, control the area, and sell goods by the kilogram. One of his friends asked Michael why he was dealing with Seagulls, because he was so stupid and narrow-minded. The friends came to the bookstore and took 2 textbooks each that were set aside for them. In the subway, Seagulls started acting up and attracted the attention of a police officer. Daring had to deal with the situation, which really pissed him off, since Pookley was always getting into trouble. The guys were already being followed. They approached a hiding place in an abandoned building, where Seagull pulled out 2 pistols. Michael, dumbfounded, grabbed one of them and immediately threw it away. Seagull refused to give up the second one. Esteban's goods were lying under the floorboard, which Daring replaced with the powder given to him by Hector. Suddenly, a car stopped in front of them. Instead of running away, Seagull started shooting at the bandits, but soon fell and dropped the pistol, which got stuck under the car's wheel. The wheel punctured and it crushed the guy's hand. Michael returned, but was unable to help his friend and was forced to run away. The small-time gangster was not spared and was shot. The schoolboy found himself back at the police station, lying again that he didn't know who killed Chaika. The detective left him his business card in case the boy decided to talk. Auntie told Michael that she couldn't risk the lives of 11 other kids for him, so he would go to an orphanage as soon as a place became available. At school, Curly attacked Michael, blaming him for Seagull's death. A car was waiting at Daring's house, and he was thrown into the car, brought to Corky. He believed that Esteban was encroaching on his market since he had started selling the same goods, but Daring claimed that he was not working for Esteban, but lied that Jake had hired him. The killer was very surprised and wanted to shoot the liar, but he himself was taken at gunpoint. Daring continued his game, claiming that Jake was constantly taking money from dealers. He and his accomplice had been dealing on the side for a long time and were going to become the main ones, taking over Corky's business. Jake got hit in the ribs with a chain and insisted that Daring set him up. But where did the schoolboy get $5,000? Corky beat his men to death with a chain and asked Daring who was supposed to sell the goods on the street. He pointed to James, his sister's boyfriend, who only comes home after 6. That's when it's worth coming to him. Then the schoolboy came to Esteban and complained that Corky's men attacked him. Daring lied again that Corky was thinking of taking over his goods and taking over part of the business. He allegedly was told about this by his sister Nicole, who Esteban is crazy about. In fact, she slept with James. James and Corky were going to eliminate Esteban. According to Daring, the two are constantly dating, and today they have a meeting after 6. Esteban soon saw this with his own eyes. The driver was stabbed to death. Esteban's armed squad approached the building, and Daring opened a candy bar to sweeten the bloody spectacle he had orchestrated. Corky's entire gang was wiped out. James tried to escape, but Esteban locked him back up. He found Nicole's underwear in the room and shot the dealer. One fighter was lost. Chili was left on the pavement next to Corky. Daring noticed where Esteban put the gun. The leader gave the order to throw the gun in the water and leave the car somewhere. He himself went to deal with Nicole. Daring demanded that the car be stopped and that he be let out. He ran to the nearest phone and called the detective. He then went to Esteban, saying that he had nowhere else to go and asking to stay. Suddenly, the police rang the doorbell. As Esteban left the room, Daring slipped something under his mattress. A detective entered the room and said that the neighbors had called them, saying that they had heard screams and even gunshots. Daring said that Esteban had threatened to kill his sister. He also said that the boss and his men had just shot Corky and James's gang out of jealousy. Nicole said that her brother was lying, but Daring replied that his sister was simply afraid of authority and was covering for him. He also pointed to a weapon hidden under the mattress. Michael had stolen a gun from the bandit's car in advance. There were 2 kilograms of powder under the mattress, which Daring had also planted. Esteban finally realized that the guy had fooled him. Michael was ready to testify in court against Esteban, but only if he and Nicole were transported from the ghetto to a safe place. The game was over. In the park, a grumpy Sam was scolding a boy for being an hour late. After setting up the chess set, he looked up at his son and saw that he had burst into tears. I also recommend watching other videos on my channel. Good luck!